Hey guys, what's going on? It's RoyalTacticsFPS here, and today I am going to do a video that I promised in my last video. I'm going to show you my class setup for AW. Uh, Now, obviously, I'm going to do different classes, okay, in this game. I might also show you my armory if we have time as well. Um, but as you can see, I do use a lot of battles and AS1s. It's mainly a lot of these classes have a hard point on search and destroy. Bear in mind. Um, but yeah, I'm going to show you separately what classes I use for ranked, search and destroy, and normal, like kill confirmed, hardcore kill confirmed, TDM, and all of that. Okay, now that class, the HBR, is mainly for TDM, kill confirmed, those fun pub stomping type games. I rarely do use the HBR just because I haven't got the insanity, unfortunately, as you can see. Yeah, max prestige. I've been max prestige for ages, and I still haven't got the insanity. It's really sad. It is like when I tell people that, they love to like shove it in my face. um, but as you can see, this is kind of what I would use normally, not unless I'm playing ranked or a Pacific game mode that maybe I'd need something else for. I've got lightweight, I've got peripherals, cold-blooded, toughness, and blast suppressor. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I have been told that if you put toughness in that first box, it will work better, it will work more, and then you put blast pressure in that box as the second perk 3. So I don't know if that's true. That's just something that I've been told. I don't know, maybe it's all bullshit, but that's what I got told. Anyway, I like to use Overcloak as well, just because it gives you a speed boost. I'm more of the Russian, gunner type player, run and gun. So I like to have Overcloak, particularly if I'm using heavy guns, okay? Whenever I'm using a heavy gun, like the Pytech, when I'm trying to do my heavy camos, I like to throw on the Overcloak to try and get back into the action a little bit quicker. Sometimes a mute's also useful, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to like kind of go into more depth about which ones you should be using for which type of game modes. Um, but yeah, I also have a random stun. I don't know why, to be honest, because I probably won't use it. I never really use stuns. What we'll do is we'll throw on a remote turret as well, okay? And we'll put on 360, support, and sentry. So 360, obviously, 360 degrees, so then you can turn around and it will get more enemies for you. Sentry, so it can work on its own, you don't have to control it yourself. And support, so it carries over. So even if you die, you'll still get it. Um, I had the same kind of things. I have support as well on UAV. I always have support. Enemy detection, so you can see enemies more, and extra assist points, so it just builds up your points. I don't necessarily need that because, well, I am max prestige, so I don't really need that XP or anything. So let's just say you wanted to take that off. Extra time's also useful, and obviously threat detection. Now that is something you can also put on, and a lot of people do put threat detection on. Either if you want to have more points, more XP because of your assists, then go with the extra assist points. But if you maybe just want it for your team, be a team player, and you don't really need the XP, your max prestige or whatever it might be, you can throw on threat detection. Um, Actually, I might do that now. I'm going to throw on the threat detection. So yeah, that's that class. I've kind of covered all of that really. I also use peripherals and cold-blooded because these are not something some people usually use. A lot of people are popular. The things that are popular is normally fast hands, maybe even blind eye. But I use those for other game modes, which I'm about to show you. Um, we're going to skip this. As you can see here, I've got my blind eye classes. Now these are for domination. As you can see, I've got them titled domination, hardcore domination. Also, you can see for my hardcore domination class, I haven't got anything that would create an issue with me getting kicked. So that means basically I haven't got anything that could team kill like bombing runs, paladins. I haven't got any of that for my hardcore. It's just simple UAV, system hack, and warbird. Okay, so we've got the ASM1 and the domination class, bow, ASM1. These are also my search and destroy classes. These are the ones that I do like to go to a lot. Just, for the pubs, okay? So for the pubs, I'll have. This is just for search, okay? So I've got the normal ASM1. As you can see here, I've got so many other variants. Got the speakeasy, got the rigger, got the magnitude, but I like to use the normal ASM1. I don't really like to use variants in search or ranked. And then also I've got the normal moors, okay? And I've decided to put full grip and advanced rifling on that. You could, if you want to, switch out the advanced rifling and put quick draw on as well. But it's completely up to you what you like to use. Um, a quick draw is very useful because if you're in those kind of situations that you see yourself in where it can help you get a little bit of an advantage. I kind of had advanced rifling on there because the issue I found with ASM1, even though a lot of people say it's OP, and I have had some shots across the map or whatever it might be, sometimes I feel like the ASM1's got no range at all. I just feel like that. It feels like the range isn't much better than, I don't know, the MP11 for example. Um, I don't know. But anyways, I'm using the Moors as well. Now, some people, the thermal is very popular, variable zoom scope's very popular. Um, I'm not very good with thermal, I'll admit. Like, I have done a lot of private games, 1v1s or, free for alls against people or wherever it might be, and I've never really liked thermal. I don't know why. Um, I sometimes I sometimes mix it up with variable zoom, but at the same time, I still like the ballistic CPU. The one thing that I hate the most about all these attachments is the iron sight. Now, if someone uses the iron sight ever, I just think they're the biggest noob going. I'm sorry, but it's true. Um, you can also use stock, but that's only if you kind of got ballistic as well. So it's just kind of an extra if you've got room for it. I highly doubt you will though if you've got perks and other stuff. Um, but yeah, peripherals again. Lightweight, fast hands, toughness, and suppressor. As you can see, it's kind of the same kind of perks as uh, what I'd use in TDM or Kill Confirmed. Pubs, Search and Destroy isn't that different, but obviously I use certain guns, and normally I don't find newbie lobbies, so I can't just throw out anything. Uh, Sometimes I do, but not all the time. I also use basically it's the same replica class with the bow, but just, um, I think I've got the cold-blooded instead of peripherals, which I've just noticed. I prefer to have peripherals, so I'm going to change that. Um, I mean, yeah, I do sometimes use cold-blooded as well. It's just so like I'm safer from the thermal people, but even then, they'll still get you if if you're wide open. So that's only useful in certain situations. Uh, so I mean, yeah, I think I'll just use peripherals, I think, because when I get into those moments where it's like 1 against 4 or 5, it's useful to have peripherals because you don't want to be showing up all over the map like with the huge fucking skulls coming up. Like, obviously if you're playing against decent players, they will have the common sense to look at the map anyway and kind of work out where you are. But with these skulls and stuff, it just kind of shows exactly where it was that you killed that person. So I would highly recommend just using peripherals. And now we've gone through the Dom classes. You can see I sometimes use grenades, sometimes I don't. Blind eye, low profile. I haven't got a lightweight on these classes either, which is a difference. I don't know, with domination, I think as long as I've got overcloak, that's good enough for me. Um, and sometimes like to use the remote turret. I know some people wonder why do you use the remote turret? I don't. To be honest, I think I started using it when I started doing these camos and I was doing the road to royalty. I don't know. I used to always just have like the system hack and the bomb run and the warbird sometimes as well. Have 4 score streaks, but I don't know. I think that class is set up as well so it can be useful for kill confirmed as well and TDM, not just domination. See, if I changed it right now and put system hack, take away that, and put warbird on. See, this hasn't got support, as you can see. This hasn't got support, but I put stealth on it. And this hasn't got support either, but I like to put aggressor on. Maybe rockets as well, but I kind of like just aggressor. I think it's okay how it is. Maybe extra time as well. So if you think about it, this is more of a dom class, okay? If you don't need the overcloak and you don't need the exo launchers, but I don't think this class would be very useful in like TDM or kill confirms. Not unless I had one of those amazing games and I have had some TDM games where I've hit the bombing run and the warbird, but if you want it to completely suit I mean, that's fine how it is now. That can still be used as a great domination class. Think about it like this: if you want to do DNA bombs, for example, if you want to try and get DNA bombs, the best thing to do is use score streaks that will get you less kills. Because the thing is, you don't want to end up what I sometimes do, which is bringing out all of these score streaks that you have: the warbird, the bombing run, the assault drone, remote turret, paladin even, and then you end up killing all the team, but this doesn't count towards a DNA bomb, so it's completely pointless. um I mean, it's completely up to you as well. It depends if you're trying to get DNA bombs. If you're not, then I guess you can use whatever score streaks you want, but I'm just saying that if you do use them, remember those kills do not count towards a DNA bomb, so just think about that. Alright, what other classes have we got? And as you can see, my class has been taken away, so I mean, it's good because it kind of gives me the opportunity to create classes again. For my ranked class, I would love to have that with full grip, quick draw. Now this is for, let's just say this is for hard point, okay? I'll throw in one, I'll throw in two actually. Throw in that, lightweight, cold-blooded. Oh, actually I will put that there. Now, that's okay for hardpoint. You can also flak jacket as well. That's a must sometimes because people like to spam those frags. So you need to have and also you can also use blind eye as well. So if you're not really keen on cold blooded, switch that out for blind eye. So that's my first class, okay? And you know it's a mixture of kind of trying to be a little bit stealthy, but also making sure you've got the backup of you know, you need the flat jacket and you need the blind eye. Okay, overcloak is mainly for so I can get to hard points quickly, just in case I might get spawned out and I'll have to go to the other side of the map to get to the hard point. So that's that. Okay. I like the royalty camo, so I throw that on. Sometimes I do like to put diamond on though as well. I don't know why. When you get used to using guns with certain camos on, I don't know if it's just me, but like I love to have I sometimes get used to having certain camos. So when I switch up to the royalty, it felt very strange. And I don't know, maybe that's one thing that's kind of been ruining my game at the moment. But anyways, right, we're gonna make the next one, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make that one another ASM one. I don't know. Well, actually, we'll make this one a bell. Make this one a bell, so you kind of have a good look about what card setups. Full grip, quick draw. As you can see here as well, I do have the Obsidian Steed and the Inferno. Have both of them, but I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use the normal. And let's just say this is hard point again. Okay, hard point again. I'm still going to put flat jacket on. I'm going to put fast hands on that, I think, but I might change that. I'm not sure. and that's actually perfect. That's actually gone in great. So I've decided to put fast hands in this class because sometimes with the bow I feel like it can kind of make it a bit slower for you to be able to quickly switch out from frags or overcloak to your gun. So that's why I decided to put fast hands on. If you don't think that's very useful, you can always put on something else. The one thing I would not recommend for ranked is the gung ho. That's the only thing that I would not recommend you using. Just kind of limits your movement, and I don't understand why anyone actually uses that in pubs, let alone not unless you're doing the sliding camos. That should be really the only reason you use that for. I don't really know why other people would use it. Um, blind eye, blind eye, and cold blooded are probably the two that I would use for ranked as well, other than fast hands. So peripherals can be useful in pubs S&D, for example, or pubs in general. But because there's only 4 against 4, I don't think that's very useful. I don't think. Um, and same with gung ho. So it's these three: fast hands, blind eye, and cold blooded. Those are the three that I would recommend mainly as perks for perk two, for ranked. Uh, with you can use right. There's three particular classes for hardpoint, for example, that I would recommend you using: lightweight, flak jacket, and danger close. Okay. Um, I will also make actually a danger close class right now. Um, I will make another bow class just because I do seem to use the bow more. So these are actually classes that I will actually use when I do play ranked next. So flak jacket, danger close. You've got to remember though that you have not got the lightweight anymore, so you might move slower, which is unfortunate. Um, Now we have got the danger close, which means do more explosive and score streak damage. So that's the frags. That kind of help. Basically, it helps you get kills with the frags. I never seem to get kills with the frags. I never have kills with any of these things. Any of them. Semtexes, stun grenades. None. I literally completely useless with these things. But yeah, so that's kind of, to some people this would be a normal class setup for the ranked, for hardpoint, or particularly for hardpoint, can be for pubs as well. Um, but yeah, so we've got the speed thing as well to help us as we've lost the lightweight, and we've got 2 frags, quick draws so we can react quickly, toughness so we can take some flinch. Um, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create some ranked search and destroy classes. Okay, so this isn't much different from pubs really, because obviously I do use non-variants in pubs. Oh, I went all spastic then. Quick draw, that's a must. You don't necessarily need, like, you don't need any of this normally. Sometimes it's just, bearing in mind there's certain things you can't have in ranked, like UAV, for example. There are quite a few things you can't use, so I just recommend just not having any school streaks. But obviously when you go into the ranked playlist and then go into a lobby, and then you can have a look to see what school streaks you can have. Okay, so I'm gonna use lightweight for cold-blooded, fast hands, blast suppressor, toughness, and then overcloak. I always have the sniper, not unless it's a Russian class, where I will show you a Russian class that I sometimes do set up for search and destroy. Um, Sadly, I haven't got the royalty camo for the snipers yet, which kind of is annoying. A bit frustrating, that is. So yeah, that's a perfect. That could be fine for ranked. You could also do the bow class as well. If you like to use the bow. Full grip, quick draw. Make sure you remember that fast hands, because I've had debates with people before over this about whether fast hands is useful or not. when it comes to having the sniper as a secondary, and it's so you can switch out quicker. Let's just say someone rushes you, you've got the sniper in the hands, and you need to quickly switch it out with a bow. You really need the fast hands to help you with that, because I've seen so many people die because they haven't had fast hands. Like, it's ridiculous. Um, you don't need CPU, like you don't need the ballistic if you don't want it. Like, you could, instead of putting, bearing in mind you are playing, you can put the mute device on instead. Um, so I mean, it's completely up to you what you want to use. I will actually keep the mute device on, and I will test it out. I mean, I don't mind the mute device, I just don't use it that much. Normally, I feel like people already know where I am anyway. I mean, if you haven't got silencer, bearing in mind, and you shoot and you don't move, then I mean, I do move, but I mean, let's just say somebody doesn't move when they've shot. You kind of, people kind of in rants, they kind of have the common sense to kind of go there and kind of, well, not go there, but they know where you are, even with the mute device, like, you know. So a silence is kind of useful, but at the same time, the silence, I remember, kind of brings down a little bit of damage. Not a lot, but it does. I used to use a silencer a lot, like a lot, and it did. I used to get more hit markers from it. More hit markers. I don't know why. I think obviously it must be the damage thing. But I've got a bad at connection as well, so that might be also another reason why I get a lot of hit markers with the silencer. Right, so these two classes are perfect for ranked. They're completely perfect. Um, Also, if you don't want the CPU, the ballistic on there, you can put mute device on there as well. It's completely up to you what you want to do. But remember, as I said, you can't use certain exo abilities uh, when you're in ranked. For example, you can't. I don't think you can use exo ping. I know that you can definitely use exo mute though. So that's why I'm saying exo mute, because I know that you can use that in ranked. So it's just kind of a safe bet. I don't want to recommend something that you can't use, because that would be completely pointless. Um, so yeah, I'd recommend just using exo mute, to be honest with you, in ranked. Um, but if you can use the overcloak and you want to rush a bit because for whatever reason, and you can use that in ranked, then I'd recommend using that as well. These two are probably, I think, the most useful. I think that's useless a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of useless. Um, that can be useful in certain situations. I don't think you can use that in ranked. I don't think, if I remember correctly. Exo cloak, that's completely useless. Like, I don't. These, that, that, and that. I don't know if you can use these in um, ranked, but I personally think this is kind of useless. The hover might be useful if you want to kind of get up, kind of snipe. You want to kind of be in a high spot, so like people would not expect you to be there. Um, but yeah, so those two are perfect for search and destroy in ranked or pubs. They actually can be perfect for pubs as well. Um, Alright, what we're going to do now is we're going to do a CTF class. Gotta have the overcloak. I think you can have, yeah, you can have overcloak in ranked. I'm sure you can. Because I think I've used it in ranks before, I think. Okay, well, I'll have to change that when I do get into the ranked lobby, but um, CTF, remember, it's CTF, so we need lightweight to get to places quickly. I will use blind eye, just in case. Now, I know that some people are going to say, now, with the Perk 3, what is more useful? Okay, some people think blast suppressor is not really needed sometimes in certain situations. They like to go with other things like scavenger and toughness. Now, scavenger can be useful if you are gonna get into that game where you are gonna drop a lot of kills and probably run out of ammo. But there's plenty of guns you could pick up. I mean, then again, I've been the unfortunate one where I end up kind of going on that 25 kill streak, and then I run out of ammo, and then I can't find a gun, or as soon as I do find a gun, I look around the whole map for a gun, and then I end up getting shot in the back as soon as I pick the gun up. It's like the most unlucky thing to happen to you. Like, think about it, if you didn't run out of ammo, you could have avoided that death. But I would not recommend scavenger for ranked. Some people might disagree with me. I don't even know if that's available, okay? Bearing in mind that I'm not in the lobby, so um, I can't remember if scavenger, hardline, or hardwired are available in ranked. So I just kind of stick to these. It's just so instead of fiddling around, um, and they're both perfectly fine. Perks, toughness gives you less flinch, and the blast presser so people don't know where you are all the time. Um, Not unless you want people to know where you are, you know. But at the end of the day, I think blast pressure is useful, particularly for people that don't camp and sit in corners. People that like to be in the air like me and like to jump around. Blast pressure is very useful. Um, so right, this is for CTF. Okay, just throw this on. This class isn't that much different to any other class I would probably make for. I think you can use stuns if I remember correctly. I'm going to throw these on, or if you don't want these, okay, you can throw on, put an extra attachment on, and put advanced rifling on. So that's a perfect, I think that's fine for CTF. And obviously you make another class with the bow as well, so you're prepared, okay, so you don't have to quickly make it when you're going into the game. And there's CTF, so I'll definitely want overcloak again. um, um if you want another attachment for the bow, you can use stock or extended mags. Those two. What I'd not recommend is using these, okay, or grenade launcher. Um, I think these are pretty useless. Like I've already gone through the suppressor thing. Right, the microphone, okay. I've seen some people use this in ranked, and I thought it was very strange that they used that attachment. Um, It's only useful if people use a silencer, use a suppressor, and I don't think personally a lot of people do use suppressors in ranked. I just don't think they do. Um, so I think that's pretty useless ranked attachment to like put in there. So I recommend just using stock or extended mags. Completely up to you which one you'd prefer to use. Um, I think is it true that if you've got extended mags you don't have to reload as much? So also that can be very useful for those situations. It can also be useful for hardpoint as well, actually. Um, so that might be might be a useful class, and then you could also maybe this is CTF, remember? So you could put overcloak on. I don't know. I don't know if you can use these, but just um, what I'll do is I'll put that on. I'll put that on. If you don't want the extended mags, you can always take that off and put, you know, an extra stun on or whatever it might be. Um, as you can see, with the game modes where you got a rush, like Hardpoint or CTF, to be able to do the objective, I recommend highly using the overcloak. I think the mute is kind of useless. Mute is kind of for search and destroy. Um, but you can use overcloak in all these game modes. Like really, if you want to rush. Uh, I will. Wait a minute. So we've done that. We've done that. We've done that. What I will do is create. So those are my CTF classes. I don't need anything else. I don't think. Wait a minute. I've got space right now. And I'll put fast hands on as well.